Hi, my name is John McMullen. I'm the owner of a web design agency with a focus on SEO out here in Lindale, Texas. Today I want to show you how I deliver SEO reports to my clients on a monthly basis to show them where they're at SEO-wise and their search engine ranking position, which is when you go to Google in a incognito window or a browser you don't use and you type in your company's name. That's how you see where you rank within Google's search engine. You can't do it from a browser you normally use because that will pick up the fact that you've probably visited your website in recent months or days, and it will show you that higher than other websites because Google wants to give you the content they think you want. There are also tools you can use to go through and check SEO rankings and SERP rankings from other locations. And that is what I want to show you today, what I use, how I deliver the reports, and what I tell my clients on a monthly basis. The first thing I'd like to show you here is just an overview of the email that I actually send out to one of my clients. I like to put things in layman's terms and make it very simple to understand, not because my clients don't understand detailed things, but just to give them a brief overview of where we're at so they don't have to waste their time trudging through large reports. First thing I do is let the client know what their keyword results are. So we track a number of keywords for various clients, and I just simply give them a screenshot of, hey, where we're at. And I'll go over this screenshot in just a minute within the tool that I use. This particular client also has Google Analytics set up, which everybody should have set up. And although this client does not have year-over-year data, which means they've had analytics for over a year, so we can compare, say, the month of February in 2022 to the month of February in 2021. We actually compare the month of February, and in this case January, to the previous 2 months to see where we're going month over month. Now this particular client is a restaurant and they are located on a beach, so they understand that the winter months aren't going to look quite as good as their summer numbers. And until we get the year-over-year data, we really can't determine whether or not we are growing year over year. However, we can see that the average time engagement on the website from the visitors we do get is increasing, which means that visitors are seeing our site more and they're staying on it more and they're wanting to go through and check out various pages, which is always a great thing. In addition to that, I do just kind of give a conclusion remark here. I did let them know that we're nearing the April 20th mark. That's when we launched their website last year. And at that time, we'll be able to see that year-over-year data and see how we've grown. Now, I can tell you from having done this website and worked on the SEO over the past almost year, they have grown. Let me show you some of the numbers here. Looking at this website, I use a tool that tracks various keywords and lets me track those keywords over a number of months, years, whatever we have the tracking set up for. The great thing with this is we can do keyword research on various keywords related in the industry that you're in. This particular restaurant is a seafood restaurant. They're located on the beach. I'm hiding the majority of their information, so you can't go and find them quickly, but you might still be able to go and find them quickly because they're ranking very highly. But when you look for seafood near me, seafood, the name of the restaurant, any of those keywords that we have set up at the top here, and you are searching it from a specific location that I have set up in our search engine tool, it will show you what those results look like from that location. Now this is highly important because if you are searching for a seafood restaurant and you're in Lindale, Texas, you're not going to find the seafood restaurant that I'm working on here that's at a beach down in South Texas. So tools like this help put your computer in a location that it's not actually in to get the accurate results that you need to build an SEO strategy. Looking at this, you have the current rank of the keyword. Now these rankings mean, so this particular one here, 6, that means it's number 6 down on the first page of Google. If you see a ranking that this particular one is 101 plus, it means it doesn't show on Google, which I'll go over that in a minute. It's not a big deal. And then you have right here ranking number 14 means that you are on the second page in the 4th position on Google. Even though it seems like it would be on the first page because it's got a 1 in front of it, it goes 14 slots down and Google only shows 10 results at a time, so you have to get rid of that first page and you're on the second page 4 slot down. All of this is called the search engine ranking position. That is where you rank when people search for you on Google from various locations. Looking at this, going through, you can see the change of some of these positions. These are always going to fluctuate up or down as you play with adding more content, removing content, changing content on the website to play the whole game of Google and get you as high as you can. Now next you have the average position where you typically show. All of these average positions are great. That means that they don't fluctuate too much and they kind of stay where they need to stay. I will tell you from looking at these that the reason these are the number 3 slot for seafood and seafood near me is because larger companies like Facebook and various restaurant companies typically have a lot more money to put into SEO, so they do take those number 1 and number 2 slots. However, we are the first local restaurant that you will see when searching for these. Going further down here, it will show you your best slot that you've had during the time period selected. And finally, the most important number in my opinion is the search volume. So this is based on a monthly search data from Google. Now, you see here we have 890 searches for seafood near me, and that gives us an estimated visits of 14. And that is in the number 3 slot. However, when you have other searches, sometimes they're a lot smaller amounts. So we are the number 1 slot for our restaurant name, and we only get 9 estimated visits for this particular one because the search volume is much lower. So we do take all of that into consideration, and we work a lot harder on these top and higher numbers if we're able to hit those numbers. Sometimes we work harder on some smaller numbers because these big ones can just be giants sometimes and you're going up against way too big of companies. Over on the right hand side, you can see what's called a performance index. What this is it's a percentage of all of your keywords that you're tracking, and it rolls all of these numbers into an algorithm that gives you a percentage of how great you're doing out of 100. So we are at 64% out of 100%, which is pretty amazing. If I look at the lifetime of this particular company, you can see our growth in what we have done. So when we first launched their website back in April, we just launched it. That's all we did to it. We submitted it to some search engines and whatnot, but all we did was launch it. You can see here right around July, they decided to start really pushing the SEO with our SEO and analytics and search engine ranking packages. And as soon as we started doing that, we started seeing this jump. We got to around 14%, 10%, 27%. It does fluctuate. Keep that in mind. Don't freak out if things are low one month. It's going to be okay. As long as we keep working on it and keep going at it, keep playing Google's games, your percentage, your algorithms, your growth will all increase. Google likes to see consistency on SEO and marketing, and when they see that, they do nothing but wonderful things for you. So as you can see, right now we're at that 64%, but over time it just slowly grows. And what all of this means is more visits to your website, more people seeing your brand, more people saying, hey, that's where I want to go because I've seen them before. And this also translates into increased visitors to your website. I'm going to look at the analytics real quick. This is Google Analytics set up. Again, this has only been set up since April, but you can see that the month-over-month return here, we are growing. We always look for that continuous growth. In addition to continuous growth in users, which is what this particular graph shows us, we look for continuous growth in what's called organic search. Organic search is when that user does go to Google and type in your company name or a keyword related to your company, and they see you on Google and click it. That's an organic search number. So our organic search grew 25% from the previous month, which is amazing. And these are numbers that we like to see. This is how we like to work. We make sure that all of these numbers are growing every month, with the understanding that some months it's going to go down a bit. Google will release an update and we will go in and need to counteract that update to bring you back up and above to where you were before. So this is the brief overview of the search engine optimization, search engine ranking positions reports that we do every month for our clients. It gives them an overview of where they're at, where they're going, and we stay on top of it so that you can stay on top of growing your business. If you have any questions or would like to get started with a search engine package, please give us an email at hi@simple.com. Again, that's simple without the I. Or call or text us at 281-401-9321. Thank you.